Micro Wrestling Roll Call. Ivar the Micro.
Baby Jesus.
The Micro Rocker.
Pinky Shortcake.
Psycho.
Hey, Torito.
Ha ha ha. Andrew the Giant.
Just go down, baby.
Little Miss.
I could have fed a small country with the amount of deer I hit.
Well, let's talk about that. The number of deer that have been hit this year is astronomically high. I blame the hunters.
There aren't any anymore.
Well, we need to change that.
I know.
Well, I'm going to call this program Coffee Talkie. So I just need you to say, Mr. Dana presents Coffee Talkie.
Mr. Dana presents Coffee Talkie.
Perfect.
Is this?
I just wanted to see.
So do I have to wear the headset this time
I would have, it's up to you.
to go into your world?
You come into my world. Like
Well, the
Jesse
last time
Waters.
we did this, I had a big diaphragm in front of me.
Yeah, that's true.
Now I
Oh,
have
are these the new mics?
These are new microphones.
yeah.
There you
now
go.
it's phallic.
I don't sound hollow
It's
anymore.
not cephalic. It's phallic.
It's phallic.
I'm not even participating in this.
It makes me a little uncomfortable having this in front of me.
Do I actually sound like this in real life?
Yes.
I would rather. Can you hear me?
Yes.
How do I sound?
Like you.
Because I still don't have my headset on, so I'm not in your world.
What's that? Oh, yeah. I don't.
I'm being a rebel.
He is.
Should I turn my head, or should I talk right into it? The phallic.
The
thing.
phallic thing, you talk right into it. Although it'll pick you off a little.
really
off,
close.
There you go.
Like this?
You're getting it.
This is from the West End Fair. I'm just double checking.
What's he doing? Business.
His Jetsons watch.
Yeah, there you go.
This stuff, I start to break out in hives every time I see this kind of technology.
Is there a right and a left? Mm-hmm. There is too.
There you are. Welcome to our world.
I'm currently in your world. This is awesome.
Now we can do the.
Now you can hear. You got to get closer, though.
I could hear before.
At a rodeo far, far away.
Yeah.
What are we going to call this podcast?
I don't know until
Who's
it's
it
over.
sponsored by?
Is this like Take Two? Take Two, Sundance Arena in the county corner.
Probably. It'll probably it's something to that effect. But you guys are going to become. You're just regular characters on this program. So.
Well, I'm just here for moral support for both of you. Greg is really
Did you figure
the
out-
character. Yeah. What? Huh?
No, I was going to say, did you figure out how many hits you had on this last one?
It's doing great. I can pull it up.
I was hoping.
Oh
it
yeah,
was,
no. There's people listening to it and continues to get down.
I was hoping it would bomb.
No, it's if anything, it keeps going up. People keep finding it and they keep listening.
And they keep calling me dry rub.
Well, that's the answer. Is how many people are calling you dry rub now?
So my buddy Daryl, who is my number one fan, and
Does he have a brother named Daryl?
yes,
We're not started yet,
my
like
brother
last time.
Daryl.
Right? Are we going to? We're going to start it.
Oh, we started 10 minutes ago. Where
it's
you
been going.
Oh man.
We were talking about it before we even walked in the room.
Oh God.
But no, Daryl. I had a conversation with Daryl this evening. He called me beforehand because I had talked about him in the last show, and he was laughing. But he also went back and listened. He goes, I went back to listen to those two guys. He goes, the coroner and the rodeo guy. And he goes, man, it was entertaining. I laughed. He drives a lot. He listens.
Does he have his own car?
Yeah, he does.
Does he?
Yeah. He has a nuclear medicine job and drives all about the place. He's able to actually go out and get in the car, and he has keys for that car. And he can put the keys in the ignition and turn it, and then he himself drives to wherever he needs to go.
See, I think that would be a great place to start, is that Greg has a really cool announcement to make tonight.
Do you want to start off there?
Yeah, let's start.
No,
there.
let's not.
let's
do that, or we just dive right into midget wrestling.
No.
You know, but the funny thing.
We'll get to the small stuff. This is big stuff.
No.
Come on, Greg, please. You got to announce.
No, I'm not announcing it because why is it always come off as a dick in here? I don't know.
No, you're not.
Like
That is not the word I would choose.
All right,
Now-
cut that out then.
Well, my response.
no.
My response to that is, didn't he already answer his own question?
Oh my God.
But no, come on. Let's hear your big announcement.
No, I'm not saying it. You guys are going to spoil my fun.
No,
We're not spoiling your fun. We are
Come on,
celebrating
Greg.
with you.
Okay, here it is. After 2.5 years, I finally have a car. Well, I shouldn't say I have a car. It's supposed to be here Wednesday.
So you are going to have transportation that you're going to be able to drive.
Not officially.
I think the crowd's a little too early because you ended that with not officially. What's the not officially part?
So wait, you bought a car, but you don't have it yet.
I don't have it yet.
So you're going to have it on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay.
And why?
Are you picking it up? Or
No, John knows this, and he's just egging it on.
Can we all go for...
Does the car need anything before you take
You're
delivery?
such an ass. I swear to God. The car doesn't have a transmission.
Usually when I buy a car, it's a whole car. So did you...
It was a whole car at one time.
Well, you bought the car, but just not the transmission.
No.
Or no, you bought that after the fact.
We are all grandfathers here, and we are talking about this gentleman like he's... This is like a high school conversation.
Yeah. So what
Did you
year?
hear, after math class, I'm going to get a car. I got a car.
Hey, Mom, I saved up $750 and I haven't gotten a car.
But to every father out there that talks to his daughter whenever she buys her first car, here's the questions I have for Greg.
Okay.
What year is that car?
2007.
Okay, how many miles does that car have on it?
Only 140.
Well, wait, which transmission?
There isn't one.
No, I mean 107,000 on which transmission?
I don't know yet because I haven't gotten the transmission.
Is this the second or the third transmission that's been in this car?
This will be the third.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my friend Greg Kennard, the owner of Sundance Arena.
All right. Okay. Wait. Here's the thing.
I hope he buys bulls better than he buys cars. And that's because I sponsor bull hockey.
No,
Why does this bull have no nuts?
Yeah, exactly. Because it's a cow.
This is the third set.
Well, we're picking up the nuts on Wednesday.
Yeah. Pretty much, but no, I'm not a car guy. All right.
Really? We wouldn't have guessed.
All right, that came out wrong. What I meant to say was, I'm not a fancy car guy. All right, I don't need a. The only thing I use my car for is, well, it would be going to John's house, but he picks me up. So.
But today he got a ride.
But yeah, today my daughter drove me today. Wait,
because she has a car that actually works, that has a transmission.
Wait, so I don't sound like a total doucher. Okay, let me explain to you what happened. About 2.5 years ago, I was driving a BMW X5. The thing was like driving a couch. It was like, obviously, it was my favorite car. Super comfortable. Got me from point A to point B. It was in good shape. Really nice car. I abruptly parked it into the side of a 6-point buck, and they totaled it. Okay. Totaled the car.
You mounted the buck, I hope.
No, I went back to get it, and somebody
That's a very personal question there.
No, I went back. I honestly went back to get it because I called the state police and said, "Hey, I hit a deer. I'm trying to get my car home. I'm going to go back and see if the deer's okay." You know. And
This is one of the reasons I don't take him on corner calls with me.
all right, so I go back to see if the deer's okay with a different car, and somebody had stolen it. And the deer was gone, and I'm like, there is no way in hell anybody's going to believe I hit a deer. Then in the daytime, I went back and I looked at my car, and I'm like, there was deer dung all over it, and hair and horn, antler marks on my windshield, and I'm like, okay, they're going to believe it now. And I had Progressive Insurance, and they said they have a point system, and the point system is it has to be like 45 or 46 points to total the car, and they were like, came out to 44.5 points. I'm like, I'm okay with that. If you're not going to total it, you can fix it, which would have been nice because I'd still have a car, right? But at the same time, they said, okay, what we'll do is we'll take it to one of our shops since it's so close. They send some guy up with it, and all that guy did was bitch, man. I tell you what, it was so funny because he's like, I'm effing closer to Erie than I am Pittsburgh. Why did they send me up from Pittsburgh? And I'm like, I have no idea. All right, so anyway, he takes the car down. He goes, why are we evaluating? This thing's so totaled, it's not funny. And I said, well, they gave me 44.5 points out of 45 or something like that. He goes, dude, it's like 96 points. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm out of car. So I said, no big deal. I'll get my insurance check and all that kind of stuff. As luck would have it, the maroon truck that we used to move animals around with trailers, something went wrong with that. And that repair bill was like $5,000. So I was like, well, you know what? I don't need a car.
Hold off on a car.
I don't need a car right now. I'll just use the money to, fix the maroon truck. And if I need a car, I'll just drive that around. Well, that truck's never available. Okay. I fixed that car. I fixed the truck, and I do some other things. And, it's, oh, yeah, we'll get you a car later down the road. Here I am 2.5 years later.
So in this car they totaled, is the transmission salvable?
Do you have parts?
Because you might need one of those.
No. It was 2.5 years ago. That thing's probably in a cube by 3x3 cube right now.
It's probably in your Pepsi can.
Yeah, exactly. But so anyway, I get messaged on, was it Friday? Yeah, I think it was Friday. I get all these messages, and I'm like, why is everybody? I mean, like everybody was tagging me in this post. 2007 Ford Explorer, 140,000 miles, new tires, new this, new that, new this, and it was going on and on. Brand new aftermarket radio in the car with backup camera and heated seats and this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, this is going to be great. At the end, it says $750. And I'm like, $750? I don't need anything fancy. I take my signs out, and I go around, and I go to my advanced ticket sale locations. That's pretty much all I go, because I don't have any friends other than John. And
he drives you everywhere.
Right. And then I have friends that work in the ticket office. I see them every once in a while. So I don't really go anywhere.
I think he's afraid, John. I think he's afraid, though, that if he actually commits to an actual vehicle, that it might hurt the two of yours relationship.
No, I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid. Here's why. Because if I drive, I have to drive to his house, and then we have to get in his car.
Right.
Because if we're out somewhere and he gets a call, it's like,
you got to go.
Hold this bag and look official.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
And he has a hard time doing that.
Yeah,
So here's the thing.
It was so great when there were masks going on, because I was listening there going like,
would you
why
do
am I
this?
doing here?
Would you do this for us? Really? I mean, transmissions are overrated. You've got a motor, which will provide you with plenty of heat. It'll also provide you with music and tunes. Mm-hmm. You've got farm animals that could be hooked up to a harness.
No.
And so he could be the Amish Sundance guy.
Being pulled around town, and you have the neighborhood for it. It's not like they would look twice.
Yeah, it'd be safer if I just cut a hole in the floor and did a Fred Flintstone.
I think a big old, that nutless bull that you're waiting on.
No.
Just put it out in front.
No,
that would be awesome.
I knew this was going to be.
Well,
bad.
congratulations! You are almost back in the world of big grown-up transportation.
I'm telling you, it's amazing.
Choice of transmission.
Just in
apparently
case.
the body of this car will never rust.
Yeah, the people who own it, they've owned it since. Hold on,
the story hasn't ended.
If you guys are gonna like stick my nuts out there and step all over them here, just let me.
It's not hard to do when they're dragging 4 feet behind you.
Exactly. But here's the thing: the people that have this car have had it since it was new, and it got passed down. Even their daughter had a car before me.
Mm-hmm. and he's getting this car, but she's getting a new one.
She's getting a new one. So anyway, what happened was the rocker panels rusted out. Okay. But the daughter is in Votech for auto mechanics and body work. So she took the car to Votech, and they went over it, and they fixed everything, and then they rhino-lined everything that could rust again.
Holy cow.
So this thing's, I'm good for another 100,000 miles.
It's hermetically sealed.
Well, the car is good for another 100,000 miles.
But considering that
they should probably take and do the same thing with your body.
Yeah, well, apparently you have more to live for than I do. But anyway, what happened was with this car, I don't have to worry about well, I shouldn't say don't have to worry about
gears.
it. I don't have to worry about it rusting out.
No.
But I mean, if I use it for another 100,000 miles, like I was telling somebody else, it's like you get into an argument on the road with somebody in a brand new car, and they're driving $50,000 vehicle, and you go ahead, hit me,
Yeah.
hit me. You're out $50,000. I'm out $6.73.
But if you need to get away real fast, you can only go downhill.
Right now, I can't even get to the hill. So, but I knew this was going to come out. I knew this was going to come out with the car. I'm excited about it.
So are we.
No, I don't think you
Yes.
are.
Oh, no, are you kidding? This is the most I've laughed in a month.
Now, hopefully, people listen to the first podcast
Oh, they will.
before
Or
they
they'll go back.
listen to the second.
Or they'll listen to the second one and be intrigued as to how this conversation got started.
Well, there's additional information here with other stuff that we've talked about in the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, this one's on me.
Oh, thank God.
No, this one's on me. Because last Saturday night, I went to the Clark Fire Department night at the races,
Right.
which was a really fun event.
So how exactly did that work? I know that I've actually hosted a night at the races.
But you don't remember it?
I don't. I don't remember how it works.
There's so many questions I have to that, Dan.
No, not really.
What were you doing?
Exactly. Everything.
Well, no, it's you bet on horses that have people buy horses. And
Right.
It has like you choose your names for the people. It's a fundraiser.
Right.
And then whenever you get everybody together, they look at there was 11 races or 10 races that they do. And it's all pre-recorded old races. And they give the horses that are racing the names of the people that bought them.
Okay.
And you bet on them. You don't know the horses before you bet on the horses. You just go
Right.
by the names because they come up with some pretty interesting names.
That I
don't-
remember.
I don't feel comfortable talking about some of those names on here.
Exactly.
But the last race, and as you go through this, you bet on the horses before you actually see the horses come out. And as you see the horses come out of each race, you look at their stride, you look at how they're galloping, and you can actually choose.
That's a hot one.
Greg, the transmission's done.
Hello.
What the hell is this?
This is
Yes.
where we get cut.
If it's my wife, I'm not here.
I probably will be here this afternoon or tomorrow afternoon. All right, do that. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was business being conducted at the Fortress of Solitude here at Mr. Dana Presents.
That was an inebriated drummer that wants to come visit me tomorrow. That's what that phone call. That's
Well-
the business. That's what goes on around here at the Go-Go Bungalow.
Well, tell him to beat off.
He's got
So-
gout.
So anyways, they do the races that are all planned. And then the last race, well, wait, let me back up. Because when they came out, you bet on the horses, and whenever they start the race, they show you each horse. And you're sitting there
And
looking
you
at
get to
each
look
one
at them. Yeah, check them out.
after you already bet on them.
Right.
But you can actually look at their gait and how they're galloping and the rider, and you can say, okay, this horse is going to win, and it wasn't the one that I put a bet on. And the bets are only a couple bucks. It's just a fun event.
Right.
So at the last race, they do an auction where they have the race, they show you the horses, and they give you the background of the horses, and then people can actually auction off and buy the horses. And the people that buy the horses can name them, and then they actually win a considerable amount of money at the end of this. But they show you the horses. So as we looked at the last race, the horses that are going to be bid on, I looked at Jim McCloskey, who was next to me. Remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And Jim was with me, and I said, Jim, horse number 6. Horse number 6 is going to win, and we need to bid on that. So we did a little bit, and I said, I'm only going to $80. So it got to 85, and I said, I'm done. He goes, I'll split it with you. This horse went for $200. And I'm like, I give up. We're not bidding on it. So at the end of the race, after everything was all said and done, and we bet, I bought 3 tickets on horse number 6 because he was going to win. Sure enough, horse number 6 won. And Jim looked at me and he goes, I got to tell you, I'm impressed how you looked at those horses. You knew which one was going to win. And I said, well, in all honesty, I guess by going to all the rodeos and watching barrel racing actually paid off, because everybody knows from the first podcast how I so love barrel racing.
The barrel racing is at the top of your list.
I still think we should decrease that by like 2/3 and just have one barrel. So thank you, Greg, for giving me my special skill.
Is barrel racing a moneymaker?
Oh yeah.
It better be.
No, those girls win. Those girls win a lot of money.
I loved it. I loved it as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just don't like NASCAR at the rodeo. That's what that is. It's NASCAR at the rodeo.
What, we don't have anything else to talk about since we're done talking about my car?
No,
I lost 23 pounds.
Pushing the car home.
No,
Walking.
I'll be
walking
up
to my house.
Walking.
Yeah.
I'll be up to 36 pounds by the time my car comes around. I'll be like, I made it to the corner.
The corner or the corner?
The corner.
The corner.
Corner. Not coroner. Corner.
So rodeo season, though, we do have rodeo season going up, and I keep watching things. So last time we were on here, we were talking about something to do with was it a Monday night and you had bull something going on?
Oh, bull riding practice.
Bull riding practice.
Yeah, that's on hold for the month of February because we have a rodeo every February and we got to rest the animals and stuff like that.
And then what about? I saw something you were now doing on Sundays.
We do a Sunday Fun Day thing.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that's just a fun day with kids, adults, whoever wants to bring their horse. They run barrels, poles, relay race, down and up. It's just fun running around on your horse in the middle of winter inside a building.
Do you welcome the public to just stop by and watch this stuff and kind
it's
of
free for
experience
that.
the
That
stuff?
type of stuff is free.
That's cool.
Can they do mutton busting?
Mutton busting that practice is with bull riding. No, you cannot ride a sheep. And besides, every time you come over, my sheep end up pregnant. So
That love you.
That was so wrong.
that love you.
Well, what is the requirements?
see, all our sheep just drop lambs, right? And they're in the barn right outside my bedroom, and all I hear all night is John.
I'll give you that. That was funny.
That was funny, huh?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, what are the requirements? Like, they have to be under the age of 5 and under a certain
Ages
weight.
4, 5, and 6, under 60 pounds.
Under 60 pounds.
Yeah.
So knowing that I'm about 200,
You're
if we put
140.
if we put 5 together,
What, and put a stretcher on their back? What? It's like,
I know where we can. I know where we.
I'll take off my shirt. I am Italian. I'll take off my shirt. We'll stick like Velcro.
we won't even notice the difference.
I know where we can get an ostrich.
No, that's okay.
That'd be put John on an ostrich.
You know, Dave Martin, before we bought this, he used to have ostrich fighting. Or not fighting, but races.
Okay, yeah,
And
I
they would
do
go
sort of
after
vaguely
each
remember
other, and
this.
it'd be like smash up derby. And it's like it's funny. I'll tell you what. Dave came up with some ideas when we bought right before we bought this. He said, "Come see Great White Buffalo, not the Great White Buffalo. Come see White Buffalo." And I'm like, if we're going to go out and look at this place, if we're thinking about buying it, why don't we go out and look at it when they have this band, White Buffalo, out there, Great White Buffalo? Something happened. I think it was weather. Something happened. The arena, the dirt in there, well, it's all the dirt out here. It's like a clay, reddish. Like when you fall, you don't get like brown dirt on your knees. You get red dirt on your knees out here. He actually went out and bought a white buffalo and cut it loose and said, "Here you go, folks. Look at the Great White Buffalo." Everybody was like, it's an actual white buffalo. It's not a band, And
all the guys in the front row with the Southern flag flying, they were kind of a little disappointed.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about it was Dave said that we didn't come out, but Dave said that the buffalo came out, ran a couple times around the arena. Everybody was like, ooh, and that thing went right to the middle of the arena, laid down, and started rolling around in that dirt. He went from white to orange, right?
Is it because he needed a new transmission?
There ain't no gas in it. so anyway, he's like, well, I was going to take the thing back to the auction to sell the buffalo at the auction. He said, but it was orange. I didn't know what to do, so he stopped at a car wash, and he's washing it from the side slots in the car wash, getting all the orange dirt off of it to turn it white again. Man, it cost me like $26 in quarters to wash that buffalo. I was like, he's the P.T. Barnum of the rodeo world. He doesn't think that there's a bad idea. He's been around forever. He's tried everything. He'll tell you point blank, that's not going to work.
I love people like that, and we need more P.T. Barnums.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, though, you do have wrestling coming up here to the
we
rodeo.
Do. Yes, we do. February 16th.
February 16th. It's a Friday evening.
Friday, February 16th.
So I was just watching. I've been following on Instagram Mini Kiss.
No, we're not doing
These
Mini
guys
Kiss.
are a hoot. I am so. They did a whole show the other night with Pauly Shore.
Did they
Remember
really?
Pauly Shore? Yeah, Pauly Shore was just all over the place with them and digging on Mini Kiss. And so we've got the micro midget wrestling.
Micromania midget wrestling.
Yeah.
I answered the phone. I made the mistake of answering the phone the other day. And I'm like, Sundance Arena, can I help you? You know, I'm all Mr. Happy on the phone. Hey, how you doing? All right. I think you have one hell of a nerve. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, time out here. Let me figure out what I did first. I said, what's wrong? And they said, I can't believe that you are taking advantage. I was like, no. I said, I'm going to stop you right there. I said, we didn't go seek these guys out. They sought us out. There's a big difference, you know. Why would they do that? I said, because that's how they make their living. I don't know what to tell you. And again, it's another person that's smarter than everybody. It just, I don't know why it irks the shit out of me.
I know.
That these guys are out there making a really good living at doing what they're doing, entertaining people. And the thing that pissed me off about this the most was that this lady thought she was smarter than them.
Mm-hmm.
So she almost came off as they're too stupid to be offended.
They're
They're too stupid to be offended. So I'm the smart one in the room.
I'm going to step in. I'm going to be.
And I'll be offended for them because they're just so damn stupid. It's not funny. And I'm just sitting there going like, do you have anything else? You know? And I said, because this conversation is really close to being ended. She said, are you just going to hang up on me? And I'm like, yeah, I think I am.
Click. Well, at least you let her know ahead of time. I like that.
It just pissed me off because I'm like, that takes a lot of nerve.
It does.
I mean, that's like, I just can't get over that. You know, if somebody's going to be offended for me for not having a car, you know, I'm not offended by not having a car.
So wait a minute. What is the actual make of this car?
Ford Explorer.
The Ford Explorer.
Yeah.
So I think you should show that lady and you should give the midgets a ride into the arena in that car because they'll all fit.
I don't want to have to push
and put
it in.
a half a dozen midgets in where the transmission should be.
Yeah, exactly. But
here, look at this. Look what's running my car.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, it's just like she would be like, I can't believe you have a car. Why don't you have a car? I'm offended that you don't. I'm not offended by it. I know the story of why I don't have a car.
That's because I give you a ride.
Yeah, that's true. But you know,
I will personally. I'd be more than happy to invite that woman to put on her insulated muumuu and come on out and visit and enjoy a wonderful evening's entertainment because she obviously has way too much time on her hands.
And she probably has a car too.
That has a transmission.
That's the thing that pissed me off more than anything. She has a car. I'm like, damn.
Get ready for the biggest little wrestling event of the year. The Micro Wrestling All-Stars are coming to Fredonia, Pennsylvania. These pint-sized powerhouses pack a punch. Watch as these mighty midgets, tiny titans, and wee warriors take the ring and battle it out for the championship title.
Micro Wrestling Roll Call. Ivar the Micro. Baby Jesus. The Micro Rocker.
Pinky Shortcake.
Psycho.
El Torito.
Andrew the Giant. Disco Don, baby.
Little Miss.
This is an itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see some of the world's most talented wrestlers in action. Whether you're a fan of high-flying moves or lowbrow humor, this event has something for everyone. It's a little person wrestling extravaganza that will leave you feeling larger than life. These events sell out every time. Friday night, February 16th, gates 6 p.m. Show begins at 8 at the Sundance Arena in Fredonia, Pennsylvania. Tickets will be available at the gate. The Micro Wrestling All-Stars are coming to town.
How many people are planning to come to this event?
How are the ticket sales going?
I think the online ticket sales are sold out. I think.
So there might be some tickets available at the gate.
There will be. There's definitely going to be
So
tickets.
you've held back tickets for the
Yeah,
gate.
exactly.
Okay.
We
Very good.
held tickets back for the gate. because we don't have any advanced ticket locations for this. We did that for one other show, and it did not work out. So
I'm going to put the poster up on my website, and of course, I'll put it up on the Facebook page and everything else, and hopes that maybe I can be a bug zapper for.
You might want to enlarge it.
Well, they are small, and there's a bunch of them.
That's wrong. That's so wrong. I just got that. I just got that. I just got that. Oh,
man, does it look like fun, and does it look entertaining? And honestly, it's one of the reasons why I've been watching the mini Kiss videos, because I'm just looking at this to see, is anything offensive about this whatsoever? And no.
There's nothing. It's not like...
Not to mention their bar tabs are small. Two beers and they're done.
That I don't believe. I think they'd be.
I want this to be so successful and such a good time, and we teach some people a little bit of a lesson that it's okay to not only laugh and entertain, but it's also fun to laugh at yourself.
Yeah,
I admire the daylights out of these people that.
Well, you capitalized on what you were given.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all blessed to be given what we were given, and we always preach that is that. You don't ever look down upon somebody because where they were born, what color their skin is, what color their hair is, if they're male and female. They didn't choose it.
That's right.
So if you look at what you have and what you were given, then you're blessed to be able to be successful on capitalizing on what you were given.
Yeah, I'm 100% agree.
And Greg was never given a car.
No, Greg had a car. Let's get this straight. Greg had a car, but that deer was the 11th deer I hit. Okay.
Month.
No. I hit 11 deer so far. No, that's a lie. I hit number 12 in the maroon truck. If you look at, if you look,
so every hunter,
never drive.
Every hunter that's out there listening is pissed off at you. Actually.
Oh yeah. Oh my God! I could have fed a small country with the amount of deer I hit.
Well, let's talk about that. The number of deer that have been hit this year is astronomically high. I blame the hunters.
There aren't any anymore.
Well, we need to change that.
I know. Hunting, it's got to be down.
Because the deer's going to suffer.
Right.
Because they can't find that's why we do that, to control them so they don't suffer.
I remember the first time they went through this, it was back in the 90s over in Mill Creek Park in Youngstown, because it's huge. It's the second largest city park in the United States, or was at the time. And they had huge herds of deer over there.
What's number one?
Central Park in New York City.
Yep.
What are you looking at me like that for?
So if you're going to go deer hunting,
they opened up.
Go to a city park.
They opened up
like
hunting.
A lottery
they had
permit,
to.
Right? Permit lottery thing to get the guys in there.
Right,
yeah.
And with archery.
That's
and they
pretty
kind of
interesting.
closed the park out, and they would go in and hunt it. And
that's interesting.
The moms and Boardman and Poland and everything were just having a complete and total fit and wanting to shut it down and everything else until...
They ran out in front of their brand new BMW.
Exactly. Crossing 224, eating out of the dumpsters at Wendy's. And then enough BMWs got hit that it changed the whole thing. And then they start, and I think they still do from
like
time to
rats
time.
with antlers.
This place, this area where we live out here, I just cannot get over. And the deer that go through here are, 16, 18, bigger herds. There's a lot of deer around here.
No, there's a lot.
We don't have rendering places or anything like that where, they used to take roadkill.
Well, I think I need to clarify. I hunt.
Yes.
I hunt in the frozen food section at Giant Eagle, Walmart. That's where I fish, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always get what I'm looking for.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes even on sale.
Where I used to live, where I grew up in Delaware County, there was a place, Ridley Creek State Park. And that place was so overrun with deer. They were eating the vegetation down in certain areas so bad that it was just killing it.
It was wiping everything out.
And they were starving. They were literally starving to death in there. So they did a lottery thing with permits for the deer hunters in Delaware County. They came in and they cleared out like 400 deer on the first day. There was that many of them. The protests that were going on in there, they were like, would you rather them starve to death? And some of them were like, well, that's the way nature intended it.
No.
Did you keep that lady's number that called you about the midget wrestling? Maybe you should call and ask her opinion.
Oh, no, I'm not. No, thanks. I don't talk. No, nope. No, I had my fill of protesters. They're just, we had them in Harrisburg the last show, all 4 of them.
But they were loud.
No,
showing off with their cars with transmissions.
Yeah, they drove there in their car.
No, they carpooled in their electric Prius. The funny thing about that whole thing was they were protesting events, saying that we're cruel and stuff like that. And I'm like, and I'm looking at their posters, and I'm like, we don't even do that event. We don't do that event either. And I'm like, they're protesting the wrong rodeo. Like, what the hell, man?
My brother hand carves. Now, mind you, out of wood, hand carves these carousel horse style rocking horses.
And he's amazing.
A terrific work. Greenfield Woodworks, greenfieldwoodworks.com.
Is that who's sponsoring us tonight?
Yeah, that's a legitimate commercial. He does beautiful work.
He's real. That's a real.
And
it's not.
And he is.
But
amazing.
he uses real horsehair on these horses. So they have real horsehair manes, real horsehair tails. One of the few shows that he's done for years is Shaker Woods down in Columbiana County. And every year we have people that come up and have complete and total fits and get in his face because he's slaughtering animals for his artwork. Not understanding that, horses get haircuts just like people do or can. And not to mention, and depending on where this stuff does come from Europe, so they process and they deal with animals a little bit differently than we do. But I mean, he's had manila envelopes of pictures of slaughtered horses sent to his shop, all because he uses horsehair.
If he needs hair
on a rocking horse,
he's
not going to you.
He's not going to me either.
It'd be a little kinky. Hair. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got a lot of it.
Oh, you do have a lot of it.
You checked my shower. So this podcast we're going to start talking about hair.
No, why not? Have you ever seen the musical Hair?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Not live, but I've seen it. No,
I now have hair. I have more hair on my back than I do on my head. My sister has the opposite problem.
Oh, I'm the opposite. My hair is all on my head, and everything else has fallen off.
That's a mental picture. That's a mental picture I really didn't want, Dana. But thank you.
You're very welcome.
And I'll never forget. I've been to one play. No, that's a lie. I've been to one real play. I've gone to Sight and Sound Theater.
Oh yeah, out in
Lancaster.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there a bunch of times for the
and that's Christmas shows. And that's real theater. Yeah, that's quite a show they put on.
Oh yeah, I was there for Noah's Ark one time. We're sitting right on the aisle, like the finale number, and when all the animals come out and everything like that. And I'm like, it's got to be animatronics. Next thing you know, freaking giraffes are walking down the aisle, and they had two elephants walk down. They're real. And I'm like, yeah, they're real.
Yeah, they're real.
And it was amazing. But anyway, I went to a theater in Philly, right? When my first marriage, she wanted to see Les Miserables.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm sitting there. Okay, this sucks so far. It was really slow, the beginning of it. And what's the lead character, Jean Valjean or something like that?
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
Jean Valjean. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's who it is.
Next thing you know, I'm out. I fell asleep. I'm like snoring asleep. And I'm like, what? She goes, you're snoring. So I wake up, and it wasn't a funny part of the play, but they shot a freaking cannon off on the stage. Scared the crap out of me. I came up out of my seat, right? Because I was in the canine unit at the time. I thought somebody broke into the theater and was firing shots, right? I get up, looking around like, what's going on? And everybody in our section started laughing. I sat there. I was like, I think I better go out to the lobby, find a bathroom or something like that. She goes, why, you got to go to the bathroom? I'm like, kind of already did, And she's like, you're so embarrassing. I'm never bringing you to this again. And I just looked at her and I was like, promise, just not a theater guy,
Can I just give you a word of advice? Don't go see Miss Saigon.
Why, same thing?
Well, it ends with a helicopter landing on stage and gunfire.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, wait, you were talking about Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
Well, he started with Noah's Ark and then went into Les Miserables. And I ended it with
I am so
Miss Saigon.
I am so not cultured.
Oh, you're cultured.
I'm not
it's just
don't know
in
any of
different
those?
ways.
Well, I know about Noah's Ark.
You don't know Les Miserables?
Wouldn't you expect a man that owns a car without a transmission to be able to talk theater?
No, I wouldn't.
But even Noah's Ark. I mean, what I learned about that is whenever I was born, I was the fourth child that came later on, which means I was the mistake. And my mother always said whenever I was born, she cried for 40 days and 40 nights, and she thought they were going to have to build a new ark. That's the first, like...
No room for John.
Yeah.
I remember that children's book.
I was the mistake.
There was flowers for Algernon or whatever, and no room for John.
I mean, that's the story of my life, you know. And if you know my wife, Clarissa,
Yeah.
you know, she rescues everything. You know, birds, cats, dogs, you name it. She's like Snow White. She goes outside, she whistles, and puts her finger up in the...
Bluebirds come.
And they just land.
Unicorns come in,
you know,
peeing chocolate and pooping Skittles.
Yeah.
And everybody says, boy, you lucky. I said, no, I'm pretty sure I'm a rescue. She rescued me just like the other animals.
She's amazing. I said it the last podcast. Her voice is amazing. I'm telling you, she is like Snow White, Cinderella, and, well, Moana's a little
Betty
tough.
Crocker all rolled into one.
Exactly.
Well, you know, it's my kids, and they're the ones that brought it to my attention. They said, you know, Clarissa, she never says no. And I'm like, oh, yeah, she says no. They said, oh, she never says no. I said, okay, well, let's sit at her house. Because, you know, we're married. We still have 2 houses. Best marriage in the world. But we said, whenever she gets home from work, I want you guys to run up to her and say, smell my feet, because she has to say no. And they did. And she's like, well, not right now, but thank you.
No,
And then it occurred to me. But the funny thing is like when I go to dinner with her and her parents, and they pass the potatoes, like, would you like any more potatoes? You know, in our world, they're like, no, I don't want any more of that, you know. But her parents are like, not right now, but thank you. So I know where she gets it. But she doesn't say no.
Yeah, when she says not right now, but thank you, it's like, not right now, but thank you. Like it's like this high, squeaky Snow White voice, you know, like, oh, thank you very much. You know, like, did everybody wash their hands?
She's definitely the happiest person in the world.
Oh, my God.
I'm pretty sure God brought us together to balance out the universe.
Yeah,
I could be somewhat miserable from time to time, but she's pretty happy, like, all the time.
She is.
I check her medicine cabinet to see what she's taking. I still can't find anything.
We can't figure it out.
It's just not normal.
She is the happiest person on earth.
Well, I try to take credit for it, but so does her dad, so does her mom.
I will admit, though, whenever she comes to the house and she runs the dog before saying hello to me, it does hurt my feelings a little bit. I'm getting over it.
Don't feel bad. When I show up, she leaves. So she hates me. She hates me.
I do not believe that.
I came
I do
up
that too, but I'm his ride.
I was going to say, how do you go? Come on, John, you're taking me home.
When we were at the rodeo, she was at the rodeo and she was up top where where you got where you got stand
in the loge.
Yeah, she's up there
with all the corporate sponsors.
And I was like, oh my God, Clarissa, what are you doing here? We're in the same place at the same time. I know. And I was like, oh, that doesn't sound like a good I know. I'm like,
but I will tell you, her favorite part of the rodeo is when Ty does the prayer.
Yeah. Oh, he's amazing at it, isn't he?
Well, it's not for like the bull riders and the contestants and all those people. It's because he also prays for the calves.
For the animals.
Yeah, and the animals. That's the only reason why she even goes.
Your opening is always, it's another thing, it's always spectacular and it's terrific. Do you guys, is Jim Ruffy your official photographer out there, or do you have a couple of them?
Who, Roof?
Yeah. There's a couple of photographers that I see out there. I'm wondering if there's
sponsor.
Okay.
Photographer, and then there's Veronica Heiser.
They do beautiful work.
Yeah, they do really nice work.
Where are they from? Are they local?
James is from Ohio.
Okay,
he's over in Ohio, and I don't know where Veronica's from, but she does our road shows. James doesn't travel as much. He'll do the Harrisburg show. Oh, and we have a videographer over there that does amazing work, Aaron Cook, and oh my God, if he listens to this, I can't remember his girlfriend's name for the life of me. But those two together, they do amazing work.
Cool. And, next time I'm out, I want to meet him.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
I'll hook you up with him. Yeah. I was talking to John on the way over here. I said, what are we going to talk about tonight? You know? He goes, well, we have a big announcement, the car and everything, right? So I started laughing about that. And I told him a story one time when I was a canine guy. It was before I got in canine, when I first started my police career. We had a guy. I don't know why he thought it was so funny, because it wasn't funny at the time, but looking back, it was funny. We had a guy assault somebody, and we were looking for him all day. He was walking up the street, and as we pass him, I look, and I think that's him. So I stopped the car, right? And, if somebody did something wrong, if you stop the car, they're going to run. First thing he did was take off running. I'm like, yep, that's him. I got out, and I ran. I tackled him on the street. What?
Are you telling the
Yeah,
story?
he's telling the
Sorry, I
story.
left for a minute.
Yeah,
but
I was
you're
telling
telling
the
the story about the
Yeah,
eye thing.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Was it funny or what?
Go ahead.
But anyway. So anyway.
I apologize to everybody out there.
So you've tackled him.
I tackle him, right? And he's like crawling, and he's trying to get away from me. And I'm like, knock it off. You're not going anywhere. Just, stop fighting. He's like, no. And he keeps crawling, trying to crawl away from me. And when we hit the ground, I hear dink, 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 right? And I'm like, I don't think anything of it, right? And he's just crawling and crawling and crawling. And finally, he crawls, reaches, and grabs something, right? And he just stops fighting, puts his hands behind his back and everything else like that. What was wrong? He goes, oh, when I hit the ground, I had a glass eye, knocked the glass eye out of my knocked the glass eye out of my head, and it bounced down the road. He's like, that thing was brand new. I couldn't lose that.
Do you know how expensive that is?
I was like, you could have asked me to get it. And I'm like, actually, I'm kind of glad you didn't. But I told him that story, and I thought he was going to pee himself.
I'd have given him a marble.
Oh, my God. It was funny. It was funny.
What?
There's just so many things I could say. But on behalf of everybody,
With a glass eye.
I apologize
Well,
for my friend Greg.
listen, it was worth sitting here and having this conversation just because we've got midget wrestling coming to.
We're not over yet, are we?
No,
Are we?
but
are
I'm
we at
just
the
I'm just
hour?
kind of no, we're not really there. But
And
I'm
this
just
segment
kind of
brought to you by-
summing up
Because-
here where we've been.
Well, wait a minute. We got to make this fair
It's no problem.
because we talked about my wife. Mm-hmm. But we got to talk about the voice behind Mr. Dana Presents.
Oh, yeah.
And the amazing pasta we just ate
We did have a very
That
lovely
was
dinner.
good. That was really
with
good.
Beth Ann.
This is like turning into like a real official, like really cool podcast where we all sit down and have a meal together and then come in here and just run our mouths.
Yeah, there was pastry last time. John was over there playing with his balls.
She does a good job. Yeah, it was his holiday balls. He had a plate of holiday balls.
Yeah.
And again,
they were
on
powdered.
behalf of everybody, I apologize.
Thank you, Beth Ann.
No, they were powdered and everything, just like you do at home. That was funny. Don't look at me that way. That was funny.
And then we have to talk about Greg's wife, who likes me more than Greg.
Everybody likes you more than Greg.
I'm pretty sure if I went to Greg's wife and said, "Hey, can you buy me a car?" she'd probably buy it,
You probably get your car.
but not for Greg.
No, not Greg. Nope.
So what do you got to do to get this transmission?
I was
You gonna shovel driveways? There hasn't been a lot of snow.
No. Actually, I went over to Fredonia Tires, one of our sponsors, Ronnie and Ryan over there. My son Christian, who's the car guy, he's the mechanic for the company. He said, I think we can get a transmission pretty cheap for that because that's like one of the most common transmissions made. And I've said this so many times. It's a 5R55S. So if anybody out there listening has one, that, in case the one I get doesn't work, 310 Fredonia Road, Sundance Arena.
Shoot us a message. We'll get that transmission to him.
Yeah, and so anyway, I went over there, and Ryan was there, and Ryan's like, I think we got a bunch of them out there. I just got to find it. Okay, great. So he's supposed to call me tomorrow and let me know what they have going on with transmissions. So car gets here Wednesday. My son said he can have the old one out in no time because they just put it in like 2 weeks ago. He'll have the new one in lickety split. Hopefully by the end of this weekend, I'll be styling and profiling.
So by the time the midgets are wrestling in the arena, you should be driving a brand new used car.
Brand new to me.
Big things for Greg in the future.
This is huge.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, most people have challenges whenever they lose their license and don't have a car because they lost their independence. Greg hasn't had independence for years.
No. Nope. Nope, Greg's so old he's maybe going into dependencies.
Now that was funny.
That was good.
That was funny.
When's the next rodeo?
Saturday night. Every Saturday night in the month of February.
That's right. I did remember that. That's right.
We actually have 5 in a row starting this Saturday, 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, and then March.
Showtime coming back this month?
He'll be there not this weekend, but the next weekend.
Next weekend. Okay.
I think he's there next weekend and a couple other weekends in February.
We got to come check out Showtime.
And you have a Dairy Princess thing coming up, too.
March is Dairy Princess night.
Is this
that's
Mercer
fun.
County Dairy Princess?
Mercer County Dairy Princess. That's a fun night because, excuse me, we get all the people that screw us all year, the politicians. No, I'm sorry. I'm friends with them. I'm just messing. I'm sorry, Ann.
No, you're not.
I'm sorry, Ann.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you. We get like the local political leaders. They do a chocolate milk chugging contest. It goes pretty good. So it's just the second rodeo in March.
Is there any particular reason why it's chocolate milk?
No, not really. Just
how about strawberry or vanilla milk? I probably couldn't do vanilla milk. That would probably be way too controversial.
Yeah, but if we do, see it. If
White
we do,
politicians guzzling chocolate milk. I'm not sure.
No. It's everybody knows chocolate milk comes from brown cows. So
okay.
So it's just we'll get it from the brown cows instead of the black and white cows, and you're not going to believe how many people are going to believe that.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to say we need to call that lady that called you about the midget wrestling.
There was one time my father-in-law was a dairy farmer, and when the kids were little, they always used to ask, "Can we bring our friends up to show them the cows?" And when I would go up there, we would milk the cows. We help my father-in-law milk the cows in the afternoon. So I told the one boy, I said, "Look, take this bucket and hold it up over the front of their nose, okay?" And they said, "Why?" I said, "Because that's how you milk a cow." And this kid stood there with a bucket in front of his nose. And I said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to tickle its belly until it starts laughing so hard milk shoots out its nose, and that's how you catch the milk." He stood there for the entire time the milkers were on. I'm like, she's a dud. Let her out. And that kid stood there with every cow that I put the milkers on. It's not coming out. It's not coming out. And I'm like, well, this kid's like, he's going to be president. Like, this is good. And that kid grew up. His name is Joe Biden.
I knew you were. I knew.
Well,
I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry, Joe.
Every story you have inspires me to share with you experiences in my life. Because when I moved to Mercer County with the University of Pittsburgh, one of the issues in Mercer County was we had the highest number of morbidity and mortality of agricultural-related injury and death in farmers. And I worked with Gary Miskey at Penn State Cooperative Extension, where you had Penn State and UPMC coming together to try to figure out how we can reach out to these farmers to try to deter this stuff. So as I'm sitting in these meetings, and they were talking about baggers, beaters, blowers, like all this stuff. And I'm a kid from Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. And I said, no offense, but I have no idea what you're talking about. So they had this great idea that we're going to do some farm tours with the city guy. So they took me to 2 different farms. They took me to the Paxton farm, which is a bigger farm that has a lot of newer equipment, and looked at like the safety and the hazards and stuff. Because a lot of these farmers disengage a lot of the safety stuff because in Western Pennsylvania, you're working with all these weather changes that they don't have time. So they're out there trying to beat the weather.
Right.
And then we went to the Filson farm, which is an older farm, had older equipment. But they both had the same safety and challenges. But when I was at the Filson farm, we came back by the milk house, and there was a guy in there, and they said, "Oh, sorry you weren't here like 10 minutes before because he just inseminated a cow." I said, "Excuse me? What do you mean inseminated a cow?" And he's like, "Well, I can show you like how the process, but I can't go through the whole thing." And I said, "Well, yeah, I'm interested, and because this is now like farmer porn, So he takes me out to the stall and he puts his glove on that goes up to his shoulder.
Yeah.
And he lifts the tail and he buries his arm like up the rectum, right, the anus of the cow. And I'm sitting there saying, like, I spent all these years in emergency medicine and in trauma service and clinical care. And I said, I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job, but isn't that the wrong hole? And he says, oh, no. He said, here's where you feel for the cervix, and then you put the pipe in. He explained everything. And he said, "Do you have any questions?" I was like, "Oh, I got a lot of questions." Yeah, like where does one procure the semen? You know, I don't. I have no idea. Like this whole world, but like even the things that I have learned and experienced just coming here is one of the reasons why I love this county and the people in it. I mean, it's just,
and you never know what's in a FedEx box.
Well, right? Yeah. Like, what do they do instead of getting your colonoscopy? What is that? You poop in a box and you send it.
And you send it out. Yeah.
Cologuard.
Cologuard. Yeah.
Yep.
And you give your UPS guy shit before he leaves. Yeah. But no, that's one of the reasons. And people think that in Mercer County we don't have the diversity. If you don't look in our county, man,
we've got it all.
We have such a diverse county and such a great group of people. It's just trying to integrate them together. And that's why one of the things I love about Sundance is people don't realize, like, it's a big thing, you know, out here. I mean, it's a little bit unique. And some of the things these people do, you sit back and think, like, why would you do that?
You know, we all grew up watching television. We all grew up watching. I remember the days of Wild World of Sports, and when the rodeo came on, that was a big deal. And we used to get to watch that on television. And I've been to a few rodeos growing up over the years, and I've always enjoyed it. Now we have this whole thing in our own backyard, and it's you're nationally recognized. You were just in Harrisburg last weekend again. That was another big trade show.
Yeah, we were there for the Pennsylvania State Association of Carnivals and Fairs, something like that.
Yeah,
it's the fair convention. Basically, what happens
for Pennsylvania, everybody comes together and looks for options. And,
like everybody, there were magicians there, that hypnotists, all kinds of things. We were there, carnival companies that come in. What do you guys think about this idea? I was working with a carnival company to bring a carnival to Sundance.
I think it'd be fun.
Wow.
Has it been done out there? Not to mention, I just want to see that area, the night sky lit up like a carnival. That'd be fun.
Well, knowing that like Fredonia doesn't do the Old Home Week,
right? It would be to replace that.
You could bring that all together. It is in the center of the county. Again, we could bring people in from all areas of the county. Because being in Fredonia, in the center of the county,
92 seconds from the middle of the county.
Very profound statement, though. No matter where you want to go, you're already halfway there because you're in the center of the county. If you think about that, that actually makes sense in a certain way.
It is a great time out there, and if you haven't done it before, I would highly encourage you. And this, month of February, every single weekend, every single Saturday night, you got the rodeo going on. It's a good time. You've got great food, not to mention the vendors. You like cowboy hats, you like cowboy boots, you like all that stuff. You've got them there.
The bar is run by Webb Winery.
Webb Winery. I like the little cocktail area they have set up down there on would that be the north side of the...
I just say near the announcer's booth.
Near the
Everybody
announcer's
says
booth.
north, south, east, west side of the building, and I'm like,
that way.
I need to paint a compass on the roof or something because I can't figure it out. But yeah, Webb Winery, they do. The one thing I was telling them before was, I said, you know what we need to do is we need to make like a signature drinks. You know what I mean? Like you go into these theme bars and they have like the Tiki Lounge in Fort Lauderdale, and they have Tequila Sunrise because that's where the sun rises over there or whatever. For the rodeo, you would have like the 8-second whatever, because it's called the 8-second saloon. Just
we need a dry rub martini and a coroner's cocktail.
So wait, why the 8 seconds?
Because it's called the 8-second saloon.
Explain, because a lot of people listening maybe don't know rodeos.
Oh, well,
that is a good point, John. Thank you very much.
That's very
Well, it's not
insightful.
named after you because that's how long it takes, but that's how long you want the riders to stay on the bull, right? Is it timed at 8 seconds?
Is that because I don't have a car?
No, this is we're educating people
car.
because most of the people out there don't know how a rodeo works.
It's not because you don't have a car. It's because you don't have a car with a transmission.
No, I was going to say because the last time I had a car, it only
just
lasted
like most
me
of this
8 seconds.
listening audience doesn't know that you got to stay on the animal for 8 seconds.
Right.
Some of our audience doesn't know that you need a transmission in order to operate a motorized vehicle.
No, I'm pretty sure they know that by now. So, but no, if in bull riding, full 8-second ride qualifies you to get a score. Same with bronc riding. The bar is called the 8-second saloon. So sponsored by Webb Winery. Webb Winery, that's like an official tasting room.
Right.
That area there. So they have their wines there. Have you had the blueberry wine yet?
I have not.
You liked it, right? The blueberry wine tonight?
It's like it's like blueberry juice.
Yeah, but you drink that bottle, by the end of the bottle, you're having hallucinations. It's amazing. It's one of those things like if you're sitting there and you're like, oh, yeah, I'll have another glass of wine.
Now you realize I'm a coroner, which means there isn't an alcohol out there I haven't tried yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's Western. What is it? Western Pennsylvania. Doggone it! Now I lost the word. No, the alcohol that we're always talking about. The
Absinthe.
absinthe. That's
Absinthe.
it.
Oh,
Blueberry wine. Webb's blueberry wine is the equivalent of Western Pennsylvania absinthe.
oh.
Doesn't work. All right, I won't make it into a commercial.
Do you watch TikTok at all?
Mm.
There's a guy in a.
That means no.
Well, whatever happens, that just pop up.
I'm not
No,
trying.
I don't-
I'm not trying to plug this guy, but I think he's the funniest guy ever. We may have talked about him before. A guy's name is on his account's called One Big Pikey. He's just a big monstrous guy, you know.
Okay.
And people send in all these drinks that he should try. So he makes these drinks. He got absinthe on this absinthe kick for like 2 weeks. And he's like, I can't do it anymore. He always smells the bottle first. It's funny. He smells the bottle and he goes, it smells like a fresh spring day or something like that. And then he smells the bottle of absinthe. He goes, smells like regret.
Yeah.
And I to this day, I don't even know what absinthe is, but apparently it's not good or good for you.
By the time you get to the end of the bottle, I killed my wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, absinthe is the one that a lot of the artists, like, all used to drink.
It's
because-
supposed to have psychedelic properties and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff to it.
Yeah.
I've never had it either. My brother-in-law had a bottle of it, but I couldn't talk him into
yeah.
opening
Well, the absinthe you get here isn't like you get in Europe.
the real stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like the way Jägermeister used to be,
Yeah.
like codeine derivatives in it or something like that when it first came to the United States.
Oh,
It was potent.
there was a drink down in Disney in the.
Oh, when I think of getting sloshed in hard alcohol, I think of Disney.
No. Okay.
It's called Mickey Mouse's Revenge.
Let's
And being goofy. Yeah.
let's put this in perspective. Have you been to Epcot?
I used to work there.
Okay. Then you know they have the drink around the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Norway. It was in
Yeah, okay.
Norway, and it was, I forget what the drink was called.
Something Vluderschnugen.
Yeah, it was something awful, and it was sold in shots, okay? The deal was if you could drink the shot and not make a face for 5 seconds, you would be considered a Viking for life, right? So the couple we were with, Don and I, the wives were like, no, we're not drinking it. And my friend Alan and I, we were like, we're going to do this. So we drank it. I just sat there and just stared like at the table like, I'm not going to do anything. And on the video, you can see me sitting there, and they're like, "Okay, Greg, you can make a face now." And I'm just sitting there. I couldn't hear for like 8 seconds because this stuff I forget what it was called, but
I heard
Oh, my
of going blind, but it made me deaf.
yeah, I couldn't hear, and I just remember staring at the table we were sitting at, and I'm like, oh, that's 5 seconds, and I think somebody said, no, that's like 15, and I could not remember what it was called. Did you just look it up?
No.
Oh,
No, but there's another one. And this one is the one that is sort of fun, is the chartreuse.
You introduced me to that. That was fun.
Yeah, chartreuse is interesting. It's named after the monks,
Right.
The Carthusian monks, where there's 3 of them that know the recipe. Well, 2 of them know the recipe, but there's 3 in the room. And if one dies, they have to share the recipe with the other one. But it's a secret recipe. And the United States quit selling it for a while because they wouldn't release what was in it. But it's like 130, 140 herbs. And it was made for religious ceremonies. The neat thing about this stuff is you only do a little, like half of a shot. And when you sip it, it's a little warm, but it tastes different every time you sip.
Every time you sip it.
The only problem is if you drink more than a half of a shot glass, you'll forget that there's 7 days of the week.
And you're just repeating the same 3 tastes over and over again.
You're not right for the next 6 days. Yeah. It's an interesting thing.
Aquavit.
Aquavit.
That's what it was called,
Okay.
Aquavit. Oh my God. I was like, I'm never doing that again. And then, of course, I went again with another buddy of mine, and we went in there, and they said they were sad that Disney made them stop selling the shot because they had too many people getting sick. And I'm like, that I can believe.
It was interesting. The only time when I was working back there, which was through the 80s, and Epcot Center opened, of course, it had alcohol. It was the first time the Disney parks were actually serving alcohol, and it was all new. And you could go on like you said, a round world showcase, and you can go bar hopping and drink the world.
It's $246 to do that.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. They've actually now made that into an event where that was something that people used to just do, and they actually are selling a ticket for that now, aren't they?
I don't think they sell a ticket, but you can go to each one. Like each one has a signature cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Mexico is a margarita, and my buddy and I, when we go, we like hot stuff. So we did the Diablo margarita, which is muddled up jalapenos. But if you tell them make it hurt, they'll throw habanero in
Habanero in.
I thought they'd just give you the drink and punch you in the mouth.
Yeah. And then
Take your wallet.
And then as you're bent over, they just kick you in the nuts. I mean, it's like we were out there drinking it, and, and he goes, "It's time to make it hurt." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "We're going to eat the peppers." And I'm like, "Please, no."
Yeah.
I'm like, "No." And I said, "Let's not." And he goes, "We're going to eat the peppers." Okay. So we started eating the peppers. All they did was basically break the habanero open, and they didn't muddle it or anything. And they left all the seeds in that thing.
Everything was in it.
This thing was so hot. You're in Florida. It's like 88 degrees anyway. And I am sweating. The sweat coming out of me, it's like pepper sweat. It's like somebody's constantly spraying me with pepper spray. I couldn't see. So I eat the peppers, right?
You think he'd be used to that by now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's not even funny. So we eat the peppers, and I eat the habanero. That thing was so bleeping hot. I got to find a bathroom. I'm either going to throw up or die. I look at my buddy. He just gets done eating his habanero. And the guy said, "When's the last time you ate a habanero?" It got as my witness. He looks at me and goes, "I was in high school. Somebody bet me $5 that I wouldn't eat a habanero. I lost $5 because I threw up," right? And he just eats his habanero, and he goes, "Bathroom now," right? Him and I take off running for the bathroom. Donna and his girlfriend at the time, Jen, are videoing us running. And I'm telling you, I couldn't feel my arms or legs anymore, right? It literally, I could not feel my feet hit the ground. And I felt like my arms were going up. I was like a Disney princess, man. Nothing's touching the ground.
Wasn't the first time.
Yeah. That's only when I'm shit-faced and silly, right? Yeah. So anyway, I'm like floating to the bathroom, but, please have stalls open because this isn't going to be pretty. And I get in there, and all of a sudden, the cool air from the bathroom, because everything's air conditioned inside, I feel better. I'm just going to stand in here in the bathroom for a minute, right? And I'm like all red-faced, and I'm sweating, and he's all red-faced and sweating, and I look at him, and he looks at me, and this guy walks by us and looks at us and goes, "What are you guys up to?" And I'm like, "We can't stand next to each other in the bathroom at Disney, right?" And he says, "All right, you stand down that end, I'll stand down this end." I'm like, "Why don't we just go stand in the shade outside? Nobody will notice us, right?" We come back outside, and I feel better. My face is still burning off from the habanero. I don't feel like I'm about to explode, right? So I said, "I'm feeling okay." I'm like, "How are you feeling?" He goes, "I'm feeling pretty." Next thing you know, he turned around. He's gone, right? He comes back. He goes, "I don't know if it was hotter going down or hotter coming up, but I'm going to go with going up," right? And I said, "I guess I won the $5, right?" And put my hand out. He actually gives me $5, and he goes, "This is for next stop." And we go do Irish car bombs over at
Youngstown?
No, yeah.
That's funny.
We go over to England, and we're doing Irish car bombs. Never did an Irish car bomb because I'm like, what's an Irish car bomb? I have no idea. Like a creamy liqueur, you drop in a Guinness. Man, they're selling this as like it's a challenge. I'm like, can we get 2 more of these? These are good. I don't know what it was, but it coated my stomach. My stomach stopped burning and everything like that. And I'm like, if I have a third, I'll probably die. So that drink around the world is amazing. So if you have an extra $246 to burn, I'm telling you, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
So you went to Disney to drink.
You don't even know. Oh my God. We were on the bus coming back. And
did you stop?
No, I'm not even telling that story because I'll be painted a racist.
Notice
and
once
everything
again,
else,
he's on a bus and not driving.
Did you stop for ice cream for the day after.
The day after is usually the worst part of the punishment.
No, the worst part of that whole trip was we're down there having a great time, and we realized that we forgot it was Anna Grace's birthday. And we didn't take her. So I went around.
It's like, you guys should be the parents of the year right
Oh,
there.
tell me, I was.
That's okay. We tell a story in my family about my brother and my mom. Everybody forgot my brother's birthday. So my mother ran down to the freezer to pull out a frozen cake that she was saving for a church event. She ran it upstairs, threw a couple candles in it. We all got our picture taken. She goes, "No, you can't touch that cake. It's for church." And she took it back down and put it in the freezer. We got the pictures, though.
That's pretty funny.
So you brought up an interesting point. If you could be any Disney princess, what Disney princess would you be?
Well, he's already a Disney princess, apparently.
No,
No. You said that you were running like one.
I felt like one. I'm definitely a lesbian.
Yeah. Do small kids listen to this?
I have no idea.
I'm hoping nobody listens to this.
I don't encourage it.
Well, I taught a class the one day talking about bars, and there was a guy that came in that was a bodybuilder. He looked like Lou Ferrigno, like the Hulk, you know. Not that anybody knows who that is. And when I looked at this guy,
that is so wrong. I just got that.
Well, you just talked about a guy that lost his eye. I don't want to hear it. When this guy walked in, I said, "Whoa, you spend a lot of time at the gym." He goes, "What, you don't?" And I said, "Sir, in all honesty, right, not only if I walk in a bar and see you, I'm going to tell the bartender I'm drinking whatever that guy's drinking, but get him one first." But the longest I've ever been with a gym, the bartender's name was Jim. I don't really spend too much time at gyms. Yeah. I know it's hard looking at all this to understand, but it is what it is.
Like I said, Dad of the Year, we go to Florida. Forget that it's our daughter's birthday. Well, we didn't forget. We knew, but then we got
makes
caught.
it that much better.
Yeah. So anyway,
because it only happens once a year.
Yeah. So anyway,
there'll be another one next year.
I'm walking around.
Now,
I'm walking around.
What child is this?
Anna Grace.
This is the one that actually gave you a ride to my place tonight.
Yeah, the good daughter.
I'd have made you walk.
Well, most of the time she does. Anyway, we're walking around Epcot. I don't know how it happened. Somebody said something about the date, and I looked at my wife, and my wife looked at me, and she goes, "Oh my God, it's Anna Grace's birthday." So we went around to all these Disney princesses, right? So this is how I spent most of my day. Now, mind you, I'm in the middle of the drink around the world. Okay.
Happy 13th birthday, Anna Grace. You know, you'll have to join me in the sea sometime. Maybe we can search some sunken ships together. Thank you.
That was Ariel.
I was
right?
going to say, was that Johnny Depp?
No, that was Ariel. And then this is Alice in Wonderland.
Happy birthday, Anna Grace. Perhaps we can have a teapot to celebrate. That's what I would do. It's perfect.
So instead of taking the kid to Disney for her birthday,
I took Disney to the kid.
They sent Disney to the kid.
Yeah, here you go. Wait a minute.
Would you love to have met Ariel?
Wait. Here's Snow White. Snow White.
Oh, hello, Anna Grace. I heard it was your birthday. I have to make you lots and lots of pounds. After all, that's what the horse like to do on their birthdays. They're the giant, big, sweet, especially yours.
That is my wife.
That is your wife. I'm telling you, that is your wife.
So next year at your daughter's birthday, you're just gonna have my wife do it?
Yeah, I'll just say, hey,
You'll
listen.
forget again.
No, what I'll do is I'll just have her call. Hello, Anna Grace. This is Snow White from this.
So next year for your daughter's birthday.
You realize everybody listening to this hates you right now.
Or admires me.
Next year for your daughter's birthday, your mom and I are going to Hawaii, and we're going to have Jason Momoa send you a message.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm just going to, if we do that, I'll just tell her Moana will be there.
Yeah, and I have to drive Greg home.
Then you got to drive Greg home, and I can't wait to hear.
Even though he has a car, he still doesn't have a car.
I think there needs to be a block poll. He's got marked down to the day. He's within next 7 days. He's going to have a car.
You realize the way this is going.
Oh, it's going to be wonderful.
Oh no, we're going to have a lot more information about this car.
You know what's going to happen? That car's going to show up, and Ronnie's not going to have one, and then I'm going to end up spending like $3,000 on a $750 car.
I'm gonna have a car that won't run, and the damn thing won't rust. It's just gonna sit there and mock me.
It'll be like a planner.
Well, it is getting late, and I'm thinking I want to go home, and I'm going to Netflix movie watch tonight. I'm going to, Dude, Where's My Car?
Dude, Where's My Car?
I think I'm going to watch that.
Play a little Queen on the way home. I'm in love with my car. Or Gary Newman in Cars. Maybe just play the Cars.
Keep going.
She's real fine, my 409. Come on.
I'm not saying anything fun till her daddy took the T-Bird away.
That's it.
Oh, God.
Mr. Dana presents.
Dude, where's my car? Where's your car, dude?